When I was a baby, I would make these like chirping noises, and my parents were always like, "What's up with her? Why is she making these noises?" They took me to the doctor, and they were like, "What's wrong with our kid?" basically. And they're like, "Oh, she's trying to sing, but her vocal cords like are developing." So I was trying to make noises, and it was coming out as like these little bird chirps. So I always wanted to do that, but I didn't grow up in a musical family at all. My mom's essentially tone deaf, and my dad doesn't really do music, but I would just hear things in movies, and I would end up humming them and singing them around the house, and just played various instruments over the years and started singing when I was 12, and yeah. I originally started out in jazz voice, so I was very influenced by like Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan and all of the classic jazz singers. So I think I actually have like a fair amount of jazz influence in my writing and in my singing. But I've also moved to more like singer-songwriter stuff. I grew up listening to a lot of Simon and Garfunkel, so and Jack Johnson, like, you know, just songwriter vibes as well. I think that for a long time I hated what I wrote because I was trying to sound like everybody else, and trying to replicate other things. I was trying to sound like some fancy poet, like writing metaphors and stuff, and eventually I just realized that that's not how I work, and that wasn't how I was working through feelings. So it definitely took a breaking point of being like, I don't like what I'm doing, and this doesn't feel true to me at all. My personal sound, I feel like it's a bit casual. It's a bit conversational, actually. Yeah, I think that it's like a sonic diary entry, essentially, is what it is.
Do you ever think of me when you're talking to her? Does the taste of me remind you what we did earlier? And it's not my problem, you're not gonna tell. It's what I said last night, it's been putting me through hell. Oh, I don't wanna be your other lover no more. Ooh, I want your love, baby. I could be the one you dream of when you adore. Ooh, I want your love. Leaving your room at 3 in the morning. Tell me, does it ever get boring hiding this of me? 'Cause I see her hair still on your bed sheets. Tell me, am I just something sweet for you to eat when you get lonely? Oh, I don't wanna be your other lover no more. Ooh, I want your love, baby. I could be the one you dream of when you adore. Ooh, I want your love, baby. I could be the one you dream of when you adore. Ooh, I want your love.
I started out under the name Canon, which was the Roman goddess of song. It was originally really because I couldn't use my real name on the internet since I was so young. I was 12 years old, and like YouTube is definitely a bit of a scary place when you're that young. So I used this different name for years, and it was good, but like I said, I actually did gain a bit of success under this name, and it ended up being this thing that wasn't so nice for me as a songwriter, because everybody saw me as this little 12-year-old girl that sings jazz. And now when I post things, people still expect me to be that same person I was when I was 12 singing jazz. And it's like, I do different things now. I explore other genres, and I felt too boxed in by that. So I tried switching a name. Then I didn't really like that name. We're not going to even talk about that name. And I switched to Meira, which is my middle name. And I just always really loved that name. So I always thought, like, if I don't, like, name a child Meira someday, like, I would love to use it as an artist name. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll just use it as an artist name, never mind. So I had this video, I did a cover of Ain't No Sunshine that just kind of sat around on YouTube for a couple of years, and then one day completely spiked, and has been spiking since then, and went totally viral, and I still have no idea how it happened. But I think the weirdest part about this experience is that I can't see anyone's faces. So I'm picturing, like, what would a room of 20 million people look like, and I can't even fathom that, because it's like I'm still performing for audiences of 10, and that's huge to me. So the internet's an interesting place, because there's a lot of people commenting, but it feels very distant. But yeah, it's still been cool. It's provided me a lot of opportunities in ways. Well, I think that there's something that's much more meaningful to me about connecting with people in person. Like I said, it could be 20 million people watching online, and it's not the same as singing for 10 people in a room. There's something that's really special about being able to see and connect with people and see how people react to things. And so obviously social media is good for getting yourself out there, but I often find myself frustrated with it. I feel frustrated that it feels like a necessity in this age for a musician to have social media. There's a lot of expectations and pressure to be on there, and yeah, I try to do what I can while, like, looking after my mental health as well, which is hard. This next song I'll be playing is New Friends, and this one has been released. This one is really special because it was the first one that I released, really, under this new name, Meira, this new persona. It was kind of a strange thing coming to college during the pandemic, and, like, half of my friends stayed home. I came here, and we were trying to stay in touch, but it's hard to stay in touch when one person is experiencing a lot of new things and the other person is stuck at home wanting to stay in touch with their friend. And I wrote this song when I was feeling a lot of guilt about the situation, and really just, I wrote it from what I imagined their point of view to be. Everybody's been moving on, got all new friends to bring along, but I still miss you. Take the red train to a brand new city. I like your new hair, I think it looks pretty, and I still miss you. Medications and still get highs for a sensation of being someone. Oh, I watched you go and I watched you cry. I watched you lift your wings to fly too close to the sun, just to feel like someone. When you finally find what you've been looking for, hope to God that it was worth it to leave me waiting at the station at 2:45. I'd still wait there for you if you needed me, but you don't need me like you used to.
forgot to call for my 18th birthday, and I forgot to call when you had your stay, and we still said it was fine. But I'm looking at my phone every moment, and you don't even call when you're home, and I'm so tired of it. Feel like I'm losing it. So when you finally find what you've been looking for, well, hope to God that it was worth it to leave me waiting at the station at 2:45. I'd still wait there for you if you needed me. But you don't need me like you used to. Like you used to. So I'll stop calling, I'll stop writing. I'm so sick of all this fighting and the shit they pull on me. No, I'll stop calling, I'll stop writing, 'cause I'm finally realizing that I should let you be till you miss me.
I came here during COVID year. My freshman year was COVID year, so singing was fully banned on campus, which was really hard because technically I wasn't even allowed to sing in my own dorm room. I still would, obviously. And yeah, it was tough freshman year because I was in a dorm with like a roommate, and I would have to kind of kick her out sometimes so I could sing for a bit. It was complicated. I didn't really get to do music on campus until sometime last year, but even I think more this year has been cool because the band scene is coming back. People are like starting to play house shows. There's performances. So that's been fun to like be introduced to what the Tufts music scene really looks like and would be. I would say as far as like how my style has been influenced, I'm not so sure. Like, I am a music major. I mean, I take music classes, but I haven't taken any songwriting classes ever, so, you know, it's more just I'm learning about music. It's an awkward thing to be doing because I do often feel split between these two separate lives of, like, performing at gigs at places and then going back to, like, I had a gig on Wednesday night, and somebody after was like, "Oh, we're doing a jam session at my house," and I was like, "I have class tomorrow morning, like, I can't come." So it's definitely, you know, a bit of an awkward split between the two. But I'm thinking maybe after college I'll take some time to actually see what that life is like and experience being a musician a bit more. I mean, I love being a student, honestly. I know it's not like heard a lot. Maybe at Tufts it is, because everybody's kind of nerdy here, but I do really love being a student here, and I'm also studying psychology, so I don't know, like I found out that I love doing research. I currently research like dogs that howl along to music, so I'm still staying in that space of like, you know, even when doing psychology, I'm still interested in music. So I'm finding ways to like wrap in my love for music everywhere in my life. But after college, I don't know, like I would love to do more research, and I would also love to like go on tour, either like opening for somebody or even doing backup for somebody would be a dream. Stay tuned, I have an EP coming out in a few months, so I'll be posting about that if you liked what you saw.
So I actually wrote this song this past year about a friend of mine that unfortunately had passed before I came to college, and
it took a really long time to get the words right. I think that I was struggling for a long time to figure out exactly what I wanted to say and work through all of these feelings. And finally, a couple months ago, I was able to get the words out through this song. So this song is called 11.
Home with you, we spoke of river creatures. I spoiled Santa Claus and acted like a teacher. I hate myself for it. Became too proud when I turned 11. In the way that boys and girls do, I ignored you. I miss you now, my friend. We were kids when we would act like birds on the playground. You were only 18 when you lost your life to higher ground. And I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to make a sound if I wasn't always there when you were still around. I hate myself for it. Became too proud when I turned 11. In the way that boys and girls do, I ignored you then. I miss you now, my friend. I miss you every day, though I don't get the chance to say it. I'll try to hate myself less and hold you in my memory. Picking antlers outside, I think about you every time I go back home. I watch the rivers different, I hope the earth cradles you like we're still little